So hey, it's property management. We've got good days and we've got bad days. And there are more good days than bad days, but there's still a few bad days. Same thing with our tenants, same thing with our residents. For the most part, we love our residents. We love our tenants. They're great. They pay our bills. But some of them, some of the time, can be very, very difficult. And this can be challenging for us. It can be very easy for us to take it personal. And it's very easy when a difficult tenant or difficult resident knocks us off our game. It can blow up your whole attitude for the day, for the week, for the month. And that can affect your career. It can affect you personally. It can affect how you interact with other residents and other prospects. Well, let's talk about that right now, right here today. Let's talk about how to deal with those difficult tenants and those difficult residents. Hey, I'm Matt Easton. I'm the founder of Leasing University. Leasing University is the #1 sales training for property managers, for leasing consultants, for leasing agents. We are going to give you the tools that you need to lease 7 times more apartments than the rest of the industry. That's right. People that go through Leasing University training on average out-lease the rest of the industry 7-to-1. So if you want to get more done in less time with less effort and you want to have more fun doing it, please check us out over at leasinguniversity.com. But let's talk about those difficult tenants. So I got a comment on one of our other videos from Francis Street Apartments. So they said, Matt, how do you deal with new residents that seem nice enough when they were moving in, but turn on you once they get into the apartment with unreasonable requests, unwillingness to cooperate with management or follow rental policies, seemingly easier to upset with their expression of anger, to include degrading management and even obscene language to make their point. Francis Street Apartments, I am with you. I understand. We all have to deal with this. Comment below if you've got some stories on difficult tenants, on difficult prospects. Hey, it's like free therapy. I want to read your comments. Put your comments below. All right, Francis Street Apartments. So, good news on this is, and we'd love to get you on Leasing University, the exact same fundamental training that we teach you at Leasing University on how to deal with your prospects' objections and your prospects' complaints when they're looking at the apartment. That same 8-step process, those skill sets, it's pretty much identical for how you can diffuse, how you can damper, and how you can deal with difficult tenants and difficult residents. So I encourage you. You're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. I am so excited to have you on Leasing University. But right now, let me give you some stuff, some baseline stuff that you can put into play right now. I am for sure not going to share the 8 steps because that's for our Legion of Leasers over at Leasing University. That's for our certified leasing consultants. You have to be on Leasing University to get that information. But let me give you a first baseline. What is this? My folks out there that are on Leasing University know exactly what this is. Folks that follow the YouTube channel here, and please follow the YouTube channel, hit notifications. You know what I'm talking about here. This is your sword, cha-cha, and this is your shield. And oftentimes with difficult tenants, it feels like we're going into battle, right? It feels like they're at war with us. You never want to go into battle. You never want to go into war without your sword and your shield. So if you are doing a lot of this, hey, I'm really sorry, can you work with us here? And they're just yelling at you. My guess is, Francis Street Apartments, they're saying the same thing over and over again. And they're escalating their voice, and they're getting louder, and they're getting more angry. And the more you try and deal with them, the louder they get and the angrier they get. And then they start dropping those curse words, right? First things first, I want you to have your sword and shield handy with you. And when you engage them, you're going to be calm and you're going to be cool and you're going to be collected. I'm really upset at the fact that I can't find a parking space anytime when I come here. Great. I'm really sorry. I hear you. Always agree with them. I hear you. Be writing down. Parking Talk to me a little bit more about what's going on with the parking. Oh, I can't find a parking. When are you coming home? I usually come home between 4 and 5, and you're writing down between 4 and 5. And which parking lot are you referring? Well, the lot right under my unit. What's your unit number again? 407. Remind me again of your name. It's Patty Johnson. Patty Johnson. And you're writing everything that they say down. You're never going to get anywhere with an angry prospect if you're not writing down what they say. If you're feeling like no matter what you do and no matter what you say, they just keep getting louder and they say the same things, this will 100%, I guarantee you, this will stop that from happening. And I encourage you, stock up on these. What are these? These are black Sharpie pens. So much more powerful than a regular ballpoint pen. Why? They can see what you're writing down. You don't have to have great handwriting. As you can tell, I don't have great handwriting. You don't have to have great spelling. You just have to show them that you care about what they're saying. I want you to keep a calm voice. We're going to talk about that in a second. And I want you to write down their issues. Patty, let me just recap with you. We got Patty Johnson. You're in 407. That's a great unit, by the way. You're concerned about parking. I get it. I'm with you. You're working hard every day. You're coming home. It's the lot that's right in front of your building. That's building B. And you're typically coming home at 4 to 5. Did I miss anything there? No, that's pretty much it. All of a sudden, by doing that, you will de-escalate the situation and they will not continue to yell the same thing at you. Why? What they're more concerned about, the issue that they're yelling at, it's human nature. They're going to be more concerned about looking like an idiot. And if you're just talking to somebody like this, hey, there's never any parking. Oh, I get it. There's never, you know what, we're really trying to work. Yeah, I told you there's never any parking. Listen, no, you're not hearing me. There's never any parking. But if you wrote down with a big black sharper, never parking, they're the idiot then, that it's clear, it's right there on the paper. You have heard them. They're not going to continue to repeat themselves. Let's talk about some other things that you can deal with in dealing with these difficult tenants and these difficult residents. Okay, so the next tip, you've got your sword and shield. I want you to have this with you at all times. Next, I want you to focus on listening. And this seems easy on this video, but I can tell you, when a tenant or resident is heated and they're in front of us, we want to try and solve that. We want to try and get this done and get this handled and get this finished. Let them talk. Focus on listening. Repeat back to them. When we do our live training events, we call this mirroring. Repeat back to them the 2 to 4 words that they spoke last. I'm really upset because there's never any parking. I hear you, never any parking. And you're writing it down, parking. Now notice my inflections in my voice. I'm starting to, number one, build empathy by saying, I hear you. I understand. You don't, if they're saying something that's completely unreasonable, right? And you're totally in the right. Your maintenance team has done everything they can to solve this problem. They're wrong and you're right. I want you to agree with them. Now, is your tenant always right? Absolutely not. But you can still agree with them by saying, I understand. So if they're wrong, just simply use I understand or I hear you. You can rotate those two statements. You're not admitting fault on your end. We're still in the know that they're wrong, but we're letting them know I understand and I hear you. Next step, and this is great just for putting your behavior in check, because it's very easy when they're heated and they're escalated, it's very easy for us to get off track. So I want you to focus on keeping your voice low, on keeping everything calm, and I want you to pretend like every single one of your other residents there on property are watching you. Now, if somebody is heated, I want you to bring them into a private place, like the leasing office. Let's get them away from the public, but let's interact with them on our side as if the entire public was watching, as if our regional manager was watching, as if our owner was watching, as if our mother was watching, as if your grandma was watching, and all of your current residents are watching. You need to make sure that you're cognizant of your behavior, okay? Now, I want you to focus on this. And if you have to say this over and over in your head, it's not personal. Listen, moving is stressful. It's right up there with getting a divorce, losing your job, a major medical problem in your life. Folks are really freaked out about moving, okay? And they don't understand a lot of times the process. They don't understand a lot of times what's going on. And you referenced, hey, they seemed great, now they moved in and they're stressed out. They might be experiencing a little bit of buyer's remorse. So I want you to cut them some slack, and I want you to remain calm, and I want you to remain cool and collected, and pretend like everybody is watching. And lastly, I just don't want you to take this personal. This is still a business. And I know you take your job personal, but just don't take it personal. So with that, I want to make sure that you always have your sword and shield. Once you combine what I just told you right now with those 8 steps that we teach you over at leasinguniversity.com, you're going to find that not only is it so much easier for you to get the lease, but it's so much easier to deal with even these most difficult tenants and these most difficult prospects. And I think what you're going to find is when you use the Leasing University training, those people that are the most difficult actually end up over 50% of the time changing course and being the biggest advocates for your property because they knew they were out of hand. When you get out of hand as well, then it's 2 people arguing. When you stay calm, you write down everything that they say and you empathize with them and you're cool and you're calm and you're collecting, you say, listen, I hear you, I understand. Suddenly they're gonna be like, man, I'm kind of acting like an idiot, aren't I? No, I get it, it's stressful. You work real hard every day and you want a parking space, you know? Let's work through this, let's get through this. You're gonna find that's the tenant. That awful tenant is the one that's going to leave you the best, most positive review. And they're going to be your go-to with other people that are thinking about moving there. And be like, you got to live here. It's great. Because they're going to owe you one because you were calm. You were at your best when they were at their worst, and it helps everybody. I know this is going to help. I hope you've subscribed to the channel. I hope you hit notifications. I can't wait to read those stories about your difficult tenants and difficult prospects. And until the next video, I want you to be great. And I want you to get those leases.